Yeah, this is how to think about the actual dimensions that we have open to us. The four faces we know about. The key point that I was trying to get at is, I don't believe that you just have the four dimensions. I believe that you have all six edges are dimensions, and all four vertices are also dimensions. I'm talking about a hidden world. It's very interesting. Physics has gone stagnant in terms of how we usually measure progress. The way we measure progress is the change in something called the action or the Lagrangian, a specialized device. And that used to change a lot, and then in 1973 it stopped changing. The major thing that we have is we have no new ideas about how to change the Lagrangian that anybody finds that exciting or interesting. So there's been no progress. Nobody goes to Stockholm to get a Nobel Prize because they changed the Lagrangian of the world.
What's the Lagrangian?
The Lagrangian, so you probably think about physics in terms of equations, like Maxwell's equations or the Einstein equations or whatever. Think about an equation as being not the primary thing that physicists think about. So I give this example. The Beatles had four basically different configurations. When Ringo was the front man, he was singing Octopus's Garden. George Harrison is singing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Paul is singing about Penny Lane, and John is singing about Strawberry Fields Forever. Those four equations, those would be those different configurations of the Beatles with one of them front and everybody else backing the front man, would be the equations, but the Beatles would be the Lagrangian. It's the thing that generates the four different configurations.
Okay.
And there's this bizarre force field that anybody who wants to talk about physics and doing something new, in particular leaving or traversing time or multiple dimensions of time, anything that's really close to what might be possible gets slammed. And we don't know why. Because it's very cheap to explore ideas, and we have no new ideas. But the only thing about a new idea in physics is that a new idea changes the balance of power in the world. So remember the thing I was saying about AlphaFold 3?
Yeah.
AlphaFold 3 changed the balance of power in the world. Bitcoin changed the balance of power in the world. The diffuse proposal from the EcoHealth Alliance changed the balance of power in the world if that was the source of the COVID virus. Anytime somebody has a really big idea, and the biggest idea, and I talk about this, people don't grasp it, probably the most dangerous thought anyone has ever had was Rutherford in 1911 saying, I wonder whether there's a neutral version of the proton. It doesn't sound dangerous, but it's hard to send a proton into a bunch of protons because it's positively charged and a massive nucleus is really positively charged, and so there's a repulsion. If there's a neutral version of the proton, and these things are barely stuck together with a strong force, even though they're trying to scream away from each other because they're all positively charged, you can send a neutral version of the proton right into the center. Tap, and just imagine you have a bunch of magnets that are trying to flee from each other, and the Velcro around them is barely holding it together. So now you have a bullet in the form of a neutral proton, a neutron, and it hits this thing where the magnets want to come apart, and the Velcro is barely holding it together. Well, that idea led to the chain reaction.
And the nuclear bomb?
Well, that was the fission bomb.